Unity School Road, and I'm gonna go past Unity School Road, Unity School.
At 2 miles past Unity School, and you turn right on the gravel road. Unity, Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant Road goes to the left, and it's that tar and chip, kind of little zigzag there.
Yep.
Are you the first road to the right past you? First county road?
Yeah, right.
So, if I made a left, that'd be, there used to be a place called Adams Gravel Pits down in there. Is that the road I'm on, a different road?
This is before we get there.
I know about where you're at, but go ahead.
Well, that's, like I say, that's, and the buses are gonna be out for the summer. You know, it'd be a nice time, if it's possible, to do something about it. I don't know what you do about it. Maybe put a slow down sign or something up there.
Well, you think the road needs to be widened there?
Well, now, you guys have widened it this year, but it's not as wide there. I mean, it's nice and wide when you get down the straight line, you know,
Yeah.
straight line, you don't have no problem.
I just wonder if there's right away on the side, you know.
Well, they widen it some there, but it keeps washing out being on that hill. I don't, have to do something about the washing out.
Sorry.
And, the other thing, we've graded it so much, widening it, without putting any more rock on. Every time it rains, now it's just pure mud. And, you know, if you go out there right now, you can see where the tracks are at, where, you know, it's mud. I don't know when it was, but I know about 10 years ago, you guys brought some white rock out there. Got a lot of dust in it, it settled in there, boy, and it was nice, you know. Stayed nice and hard. But then as you graded it through the years, you hauled that all away. And that's the only solution I could, well,
I think that's about all they put out anymore, all the, up in the bottom, the bottom things, still use gravel, because the quarry is so far away, and there's a pit up there.
right.
But other than that, I think it'll be fine.
Well, I tell you, that white rock really helps us in our situation. It cuts down on the dust and everything.
Yeah.
But, of course, what I'd love to see, but I know we don't have the money, and that's the tar and chip. You put a counter down there one year to see what the traffic flow was. I think we said it didn't come out quite enough to meet the standard.
Now that you have to make that.
I can't do that, I'm retired. Anyway, if we could just get some white rock, that would work wonders. And that's the main thing, is the rock and that hill.
He'll be in here, I guess, going to Jason.
Yeah, probably about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You wanna wait around?
Either we'll relay the message, whatever you do.
You know, wait some time then, or?
Well, basically, you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about, so I mean,
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
you'll be able to tell him exactly what I'm got in my mind.
Okay, if I turn south on Mount Pleasant Road,
Right.
how far is this problem? Is it a quarter mile, half mile?
Well, it's probably,
So will you just recognize that it's that bad, or?
yeah, well, it's all in front of my house now, every time it rains and the traffic goes through. I mean, you grade it this week and it rains next week, and by the next week it needs to be graded again. To me, you save money by putting the rock, because you're having to pay this grader to come, you know, 2-3 times a month. But you can see it, it's pretty well all down the road. Now the other end, what's that road that dead ends to down there, Gerald?
You mean after the 90 goes over?
Yeah, that's no, I can't think. Anyway, that road's pretty good shape, because that's where all my white rock wound up to.
It all gets
They
bladed
all
that
drove it,
direction.
yeah, that way.
Yeah, you're talking about around the curve there.
Yeah, once you get past the curve, but up to the curve is pretty thin.
You know, I just wonder if you can have it. Since you said it's not much loss on you.
Now, this ain't the same road that the Harris boys got a grain bin on, and Greg's Dam got a farm
Yeah,
down that way.
that's it.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the same road. So when you run into that curve, stand right in front of you.
Yep. Yeah, I know where you're at.
Okay, well, like I say, I mainly just wanted to get it on the books, because I hadn't talked about it before. And it's kind of a really scary feeling when you're going up over it. And I go slow, because I'm expecting maybe to meet something, but that bus, he don't slow down, man. He comes over that hill and there's no place to go, and man, that day I just knew he had me.
Well, If you had a busload of them brats, you'd probably drive faster than everybody.
Well, true, but you're running over somebody and kill them, you know.
I'm just aggravated.
Yeah. I already told my wife, if that bus runs over me, you're gonna be suing somebody.
You gonna be in the school business.
Of course, I'm worried about her getting run over too. If it's all right if you remember what time
Yeah.
they come to, but if you happen to forget, which sometimes, or you got an appointment, you gotta leave.
Yeah.
That's what happened to me. I had to be on the road at a certain time, man. It was scary. Well, that's it. Oh, no, it's not. Somebody keeps stealing our road sign down there that says Mount Pleasant Road. It's stay up a couple, whoever's getting them must have a whole garage full
The
of them.
Mount
there.
Pleasant is the church down there, right? I bet
Yeah,
It's all
if
the
you go-
church people, they want that fancy Mount Pleasant sign.
They don't get the one on the other side. Of course, that house is closer to the corner.
So is it missing right now?
Yeah, it's been missing quite a while. And,
He's got a list of them he
Yeah.
needs.
yeah, usually, like I say, they'll put it up and it'll stay up 2 or 3 months. And then you come home one night and it's gone.
Is the post still there?
The what?
The post?
Yeah, it was mounted on the top of the
Okay.
stop sign.
Huh?
It was mounted on the stop
Oh,
sign.
it was.
They haven't took the stop sign, they just keep, and the bracket is still there. I think this, well.
So they got tools.
Yeah, so whoever it is must have some tools.
Yeah.
And the only other, I just mentioned this, if I still keep having problems, the only other option I could think of, that I might share with you is it possible to put some slow signs on the road? That's a county road, and the speed limit is what, 45? 55, on the gravel county road.
If it's unmarked, I'll say it's either 50 or 55. I don't
Unmarked,
know.
55.
They come down there so fast, I mean, it's even a car. If 2 cars meet on that hill, you're gonna have a bad wreck.
You know,
Just wondering if it's possible to put a slow sign somewhere.
I don't know how he feels about that, but the former engineer we had said that if they slow down to 40 to 54, well, that sign's going to jump.
Yeah, yes, that's right.
Well, that's the thing, it makes some people mad, but then some people, would pay. I don't know, it's just something that I thought I'd throw in.
Well, they should on that hill, for sure.
Well, for sure.
Yeah, we'll answer that.
Okay, well, I guess that takes care of all my complaints then for now.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, and good seeing you again, Gerald.
Mr. Martin, that sign that's missing, that intersection, Mount Pleasant Road and what's the?
Unity
You at the
School.
school road.
Okay, can't make sure I have it. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
I had to cruise out of Rizzo's house on that. I used to get out that way some when I was younger and single, but I don't get out much.
Or is everything right?
Okay.
Good holiday?
So how about you?
Good. Getting in the pool?
It's still too cold.
Imagine.
I mean,
But
now,
that'd
my
be
niece
ice
and
there, isn't it?
nephews, they got in it.
Is it in the 70s still or?
It's 74.
Ours is about 71, 72. So
Yeah. Did you ever get a vacuum? What vacuum do you?
we bought one of those Polaris
Yeah, that's what you said.
280s or something.
That's really,
It's handy. I mean, the thing just sits there and
yeah.
drives around the
I like to just watch them like.
Yeah.
You get mesmerized watching the
Those
full
are the
vacuum.
angles of
Oh,
the
yeah.
wall.
Yeah, and then does that tail shoot out every so often and squirts you?
Well, mine don't have a tail.
You don't have a tail. Kids like that.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, it shoot out of the water and it squirts everywhere.
Oh, wow.
You must have the nice one. I think the nicest one doesn't have a tail.
Well, I just
The
got,
tail
mine's a
been knocked
dolphin.
off.
the tail.
You know, mine's
Some
called a
people don't like to
dolphin.
get squirted with water.
You think my dolphin would have a tail?
Yeah.
It's got a cord. Long cord.
Yeah, those things save a lot of time.
Oh, yeah. I though I left to come here and the wind was blowing, I'm just watching all these leaves blow in my pool.
Yeah, the worst one is like when it comes up just a 30-minute little rain shower and it gets a little windy and all this.
Yeah.
It's just the last thing. Yeah.
Feels the sorry for them.
Their pool gets
Yeah.
leaves in it, it's horrible, terrible.
It's just,
We're selfish.
I know, those filter baskets are gonna be full of leaves when we get home.
Yeah.
Oh,
See ya.
it's worth it.
We'll see, it's worth
See
it.
you guys.
That
That's right.
conversation. We just had a couple questions that come up in a meeting the other day.
Y'all met Saturday, correct?
Yes, sir, yes, and, I guess it was us and, Red Cross lady come down, so, we definitely want to cancel on her. I was planning on coming that far for over, I guess, Memorial Day weekend, so we went ahead and had a decent turnout. The courthouse has always been our a shelter for the community. I think there was a question raised whether we should keep using that or not, and I know you guys approve that or disapprove that, whichever way. If it's liable reasons, if it's safe enough to use it and all that kind of thing. Was I curious as to what you wanted us to do there? We're looking for, I guess, alternatives, but not as many churches are certified as they used to be either.
Is it First Baptist Church, or is it a church right there with you by Central School? Didn't it used to be a approved location?
Manual Baptist.
Emmanuel Baptist?
Yes, Emmanuel did.
Okay.
The old First Baptist building was up, even, I guess, a fallout in the '60s, but the Ohio Valley has that now, and they've kept up that approval. The Methodist church, supposedly, but they haven't opened up in years, but they're supposedly concurring on that, though.
Well, Jason, did somebody tell them they couldn't use it? Huh?
Not that I'm aware of.
I think it's fine. I don't
You
think-
mean the basement? or-
Yes. Here, let them in this basement door down there.
Mhm.
No, I haven't heard anyone make that comment.
No.
Have you
Okay.
all had someone
Well,
tell you that?
The sheriff just wanted to know. He
I
I
said
think he had
he would
some
raise
questions
that.
about the safety of it,
The
Yes.
building? Okay.
He would
about
raise that.
having people down there.
A question, and he said, see, you better ask those guys, because they're the ones who decide
Yeah,
that. So
sure.
we're just verifying. is all
He's
we're doing.
he's in charge of the maintenance of the building, so.
Yes.
Actually, he's in charge of the building, but, as far as I know, I'm not a structural engineer, but, I haven't had no one tell us that we shouldn't.
Our regulations say that we have to have your approval to use it. We just want to make sure that that was still current, I guess, was the entire question.
As far as I'm concerned, it's fine.
I
Okay.
think it is.
All right, great. And, it came up during our talk about the storm ready certification, and I, assumed that the shelter had something to do with getting that, but it doesn't, I guess. We looked it up down there just now. It's about just, them certifying that we're prepared to be ready for weather to come through. And networks are set up, our people know what they're doing. We've got all our communication in place and all that, but it doesn't have anything to do with having a shelter available, supposedly, like I thought it did, so.
Told me that's why we remodeled that bathroom, so that the people that came down there could use that.
Okay, all right.
Is it not?
Was it, yeah, was there an issue one time with pets? I mean, they still allow pets in,
Yeah.
don't they?
It may have to be kennel or something.
There's some kennels down there
Yeah,
under
yeah.
the stairs.
Cause I know at one time, I
In
think
a
it
cage or something.
was an issue one time, some people just don't,
Had to be on a leash, I bet.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, and we usually do have people waiting at the door when we get her to open it. There's never a bunch of people, but there's always 6 or 8 at least, it seems like. A lot of times it's the same group, or, yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
they might
Maybe
live
they
in
don't have anywhere
Yeah, they
close,
might-
I mean, they may be a block away or something.
and
I
they
don't
might
know.
live in a,
trailer down here, I think.
they might live in a mobile home and maybe you had a bad experience in the past. and
Sure,
Obviously scared,
sure.
rightfully
sure.
so.
Okay, well,
Billy,
We'll just keep
man
doing it
used to open the door, for everybody.
Right.
But I don't know who, maybe Joe did it, I don't know.
I guess I've been doing it for a year now.
Oh, you have, okay, you
Yeah.
got a key.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, yes. The grant that I told you guys about the other day, HMEP grant, which is a hazardous materials emergency preparedness grant. IDOT provides the financing. It's for moving hazardous chemicals to the county so that we have a plan and a system set up that, and it ties into this, I
I
guess
believe Joe
LAPC in
first talked
a
to
few
you guys
ways
about
also.
the HMEP grant. It finally got approved.
Okay. What's the value of that? Is there a monetary value?
Whatever that they.
That is just a mess, because I had to resubmit the grant like 4 different times, and it was a flaw in their application. Every time I would change something, it's automatically populating digits in this application, so I had to keep resubmitting it, and
The, a spreadsheet was just programmed wrong, and it was adding the numbers I guess incorrectly, and they finally got it corrected, and after like a half a dozen times, her numbers added up right, and they accepted it, so.
there's still, correct,
Yes.
but there's still no exact amount on it.
We're doing things too, we don't have to add too much detail, but we're making sure that things are in order down there too, that, we've got new insurance cards, inventory list, just all that's going, so.
Yeah, I believe the sheriff met with you all last Tuesday, and then, y'all had a meeting Saturday, and then the Brookport,
Exercise.
exercise has been postponed.
Yes, it
Just
has.
gotta have it done by August, I was told.
That's what I hear too.
Okay.
I can't verify the accuracy of that, but that's,
That's what I was told,
yeah,
so I
yeah,
was.
yeah, me too. And,
Chris is gonna give us, Chris will give us some leniency.
Right.
He knows the situation,
Yes.
so he said just,
What is a Brookport exercise? What are we doing?
It's the earthquake drill, we're just required to do drills specific to different things, like Honeywell, to the NRC stuff. The Brookport one, we just had it in Brookport, but it just has to be in that county somewhere, every so often, and if I told you the dates that I think, I'd just be making it up, but, every a few years, we have to do that drill. And, we just decided to hold it in Brookport this time, because we haven't had an exercise down there in a while, so.
Yeah, we try to rotate
There
between the fire departments, so
Yes,
everybody
yes.
has a chance,
to participate.
Yes, sir.
yeah,
Okay.
which I think next year we talked about Java, so.
And then,
but there's a lot that actually goes into that. But I don't know if you guys are aware of, like, when you have to write out the drill, the exercise, for whatever is due that year. Like if it's a storm ready drill, or if it's, a Honeywell drill, like for chemical release or something like that, or earthquake. You have to write that out, and then you have to write out an after action report. You have to send all that to the state. It's actually pretty in-depth.
Very
if you-
detailed.
Yeah, if you're doing it how you're supposed to do it,
Like writing out a scene in a play. You've got to write out what's going to take place.
well, digging this, I made a joke the other day at the sheriff, and I think it's actually true that this, organization, a balance of, our preparedness and actual field work is so out of balance. Deputies can, go train for a few days and then do their job for months at a time, and then go train for a few more days again. We train and train and train, and then do a little bit of a job, just like emergency quick. The amount of preparing and planning is just unbelievable for the little amount that we actually get to do in the field. So, is there anything else I need to bring up? And
No, would you like to, what's the process of applying for the job, Jason?
Last week I notified the Planet, that we probably put an ad in there, waiting, to do that, and that way it gives everyone an opportunity that's aware of it.
I think Toby's thinking about it, aren't you?
well, I've been asked multiple times now.
Since he,
I'd like to have a conversation at least.
I think what we're gonna do is just put an ad in the paper, that way it's fair, everyone has a chance to apply or is aware of it, and then, hopefully, we can
Well, yeah,
The board can make a decision. In the interim, the sheriff is in charge, and, I think we've, I know he's talked to Chris Pulley, gave Chris his information, and Chris said there's a few documents he needs to sign and get switched over.
I got it printed out.
Okay, and, I've notified, the mayor's office in Brookport with, the phone numbers that people need, the sheriff's number, and commissioners. And so, in case they have any flooding issues or anything.
Hey, I meant to ask that sheriff this, but he had to take his wife today. Barry Stevenson out at Honeywell.
Yes.
Have we had that conversation?
No, but I mean, I know that, Barry Stevenson and Sean Patterson and all them's been updated with phone numbers. Is that what you're asking?
Well, I didn't, yeah, I mean, it probably needs to be a little bit more in-depth situation, because there's a lot of,
Yes.
a constant relationship there, and so.
Do you have their contact
I do,
numbers?
yeah.
Okay, I mean, if you wanna call them and talk to them about any issues that you all feel like that you need to, you're welcome to, but, I did give them the sheriff's cell phone number and stuff. They probably already had it anyway, but I just wanna make sure they had it.
All right, I mean, I know, I don't know all the reasons, but we communicate with those guys almost weekly for
Yeah, well,
one
that's,
thing or another, so.
That's a major facility that's in
Yeah,
our
yeah.
county that, serious business there,
Yep,
so.
all right.
well, I twisted Toby's arm a little to ask him if he would put in for,
Yes,
because, well, I mean, there's others that might be qualified, but since he's been actually working, with it and knows everything that we've been doing and taken all of his classes and gone to all the meetings with us, I just thought it'd be good if he put in, because he's the one that's doing so much.
okay. All right. Anything else you all have? No? Well, we
Think
appreciate
it's
it. If y'all wanna come up here every week, and if you got any updates or any information you wanna give us, you're always welcome up here, any of you, any four.
Even me?
Thanks.
Yes, most definitely you. You're the most senior person down there.
I'm
And I don't mean the seniors and your,
Sure.
I'm talking about your,
You're always so nice.
You know the most,
yeah.
let's just go
yeah,
with that.
You know the most.
And I think maybe that's why I get mouthy with you. See, you like to insult me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I shall leave.
All right. Thank you all.
See ya.
Have a good day.
Bond,
Thank you.
Yeah,
be right down.
it's nice to meet you, Mr.
You
Lee.
too.
I know we don't normally need to communicate this much, but I thought, tell me, whatever you wanna do, but during this, a transition, I know you probably wanna know more that's going on than during a normal working time. Is that true? Or-
Yeah, I mean, I think all of us just, if there's something that you feel like we need to know.
Okay,
Don't be bashful.
Don't be bashful,
All right.
you're always welcome here, or if you see us in the hallway, or if you wanna call one of us, just call us and say, hey, this is something I feel like y'all need to know.
Well, I'd just be totally transparent, we're trying to balance, I know you guys don't need to micromanage us, but, you need to know things too, and
Yeah.
that there's a fine line in there too, so, just whatever that needs to be,
Yeah.
We'll just do that.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the day-to-day decisions y'all make, normally you continue just to do that. Work with the sheriff, obviously, cause he's the person that has to answer to IEMA right now.
He's been fantastic, he's just trying to, he's basically wants to know what's going on, but he basically said, just go and do your jobs, and,
Yeah.
in 30 days, we'll figure it out again if we have
Yeah,
to, so.
I'm sure that's what the board feels too.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
See ya. Thank you,
Bye.
guys.
Thanks.
Bills. On power, it must be transmission, isn't it? Guess who that was, wasn't it? Eight, 8800. Damage for that one. Little and auto care, what did you get, honey? County?
No, that's
Truck inspection.
safety lane
Yeah.
inspections, yep. It's, several more rules.
Y'all wanna talk to him about Mr. Paul Martin, Gerald?
Yeah.
You get that?
Paul Martin.
You know where he lives, or doesn't.
Address I have wrote down is 2268 Mount Pleasant Road.
If you turn off Unity School, to the right on Mount Pleasant, get the first house on there.
If you go out, you
Yeah.
pass Unity School, and then turn south on Mount Pleasant.
First house on the right.
Yeah. And I think he's retired, but there's a complaint was, right past his house, it falls off into kind of a valley, there's a bridge down there. But he claims that that road is not wide enough. He made a screw up something. He said, wide enough, that's one of the factors that did.
On the hill, wasn't that where he had the
Yeah.
position?
Well, you can't see the bus, and he was going south of it, probably. He said they widened it, but, washed out. He said they wouldn't.
He said he would, I wrote down here things he asked for. He said he would like to see some white rock on the road. He said, you all put it on there years back and it really worked out well for a long time, but over time it's been graded. It's just bad shape now, that's what he said. And he would also like to, see if the road could get widened on the hill. That's what he asked.
Yeah, the ones that he'd like to have covered, he said it's down, they've graded it several times, it's down to dirt. And, he'd like to, might like to do it. Why is it there? I told him, I said, I don't want enough gravel on Main Street. It seemed like the banks were, go straight to them, and then I don't want.
I don't go out and look at it, I'm not recalling how the condition of it is, just from my mind.
Yeah.
I don't know how wide the existing road is, but
Well,
first time I think we really got a complaint on it.
Yeah.
As far as
Well, there's not
time.
5 people live on it.
Well, I think he said at one time you all had a counter on it, it's just not very many people, I think he said travel the road. Cause he wanted it, he would like to have it tire jib. He understands that's not justified.
He wants to pay for it,
Well,
we'll do it.
and that's what he said he could,
In the conversation.
he's retired. He wanted that.
So one thing like on that road where there's not much traffic, one lane each and a half wouldn't work. It's just, big, small, not big, just big. Where you've got, graded so several times and down to,
It's not about anything working or not working, that'd be fine, we could do it. I'll tell you, we spent the majority of our budget already on rock this year, just fixing bad spots.
Just
been
nice.
so wet.
We're not even halfway over it here, I mean, we can't just, and that's just the problem, I mean, we can't just go out and just because somebody's asked for it, dump a bunch of load without. But I'll definitely look at it, and if it's down to dirt, we can do something.
well, that's what he said, I'd say it's not that bad, but probably, after rain, probably, got a few rains.
Yeah.
You think, the weather, the rain, so much rain this spring, depleted your budget on rocks?
Freezing and thawing, I suspect they don't bunch of rock in it.
Yeah.
Just the nature of the beast.
Another thing about the winter and all that, I mean, it's just, all a lot of rock already this year.
Want some lucky Lord truck out.
There's bills in there. This time we were paying almost $10,000 to Shawnee Stone on some rock. We just, it's the nature of the beast. I mean, it's not that we're I'd love to just haul rock all year long, just fix every road, we just don't have the budget to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, we do fix bad spots, I mean, that's just the thing. We fix, kind of concentrate all of our money on spots that are down in dirt, that are bad. And it really, we see it being a problem. We get probably dozens of calls from people complaining, wanting more rock, and we go out and look, and it looks pretty good the way it is, so we don't do anything. I know that aggravates me. It's just the way we have to operate, because we really have to have this budget. And we don't have a quarry, so.
Take care of the worst, first.
That's why I get killed every time I drive Ridge Road gets a truck.
I don't give out bills to anybody.
He just sends rock my way and sits back and laughs, look at him driving anymore. I'm gonna make him guys start hauling rock with me at night, that way maybe.
There's a fella out there in Joplin that at least twice a year, he just gets in an uproar. Just is out in the driveway, wanting rock on the road. I've been out there several times, and I'm like, look, your road is not probably better than 90% of the roads in this county. I know.
Now, does it need rock? Probably so, but is it in that bad shape?
Any road can use rock, but we cannot justify it.
He wasn't a, he used to be a school teacher slash,
Yes.
that's what I think we did. Oh, yeah.
And actually, I mean, of course, I get along with them better than anyone.
Kellerman there.
I get along better with them than
Well,
most
that's
of
good,
the,
yeah.
most of the last ones. Last time I sat in his truck and listened to him for about an hour, and I think he just likes having a little, somebody listen to him,
Wants to vent.
you know. So I'll definitely check this out, Mount Pleasant. I know we just did, Mount Pleasant turns into Gilpin Road a little bit further south.
Is that jumping on that curve?
Yeah, where it makes that 90-degree curve. That, we've had problems with that road washing out, around some of the culverts down there, they're kind of on the other side. We're fixing to do some work on that road, replacing those culverts to something bigger to stop washouts on that road. I've been on that section of road, and I know there's, I think there's some spots that could use a little gravel on them too, but I'll have to check this place out.
I've been at where it wouldn't be state inspection, but have you ever been down in that way?
I have, I've aimed to go with one of our drivers sometimes and just drive down and see it, but I've never done that. I mean, I've been to the quarry, but not down in the pit.
You still drive down the hole now and
Yeah.
get your rock.
Yeah. I give you history. When you start down in that hole, you look to the right, there's a big square hole, both sides are swimming. And I asked them about that, and they said that when they first opened that quarry, it has so much overburden, they actually mined it underground. That's where they went in to get the rock.
Huh.
And then in years to come, when they opened the top of it. But then when you go down through there, you'll see, green rock on the sides, which I guess won't pass inspection.
It's not hard enough or something, right? It might
I was
make
wondering if
it
it's too hard
correct.
to crush or something. I don't know. I asked him, I said, why don't you crush that and then sell it for, $1 or $2 a ton? And, because it's just sitting there. They didn't like the idea. It's fine with me, I guess. But, somebody, Bond Road or something, I don't know why it wouldn't do it. Like Jeff said, maybe too soft, maybe too.
I don't know. There is rock that's, they do a crush test or something, right? Or, I mean, there's some tests that they do.
I think they do, yeah, they do a hardness test on some of it, but I'll tell you what, limestone, you made a remark that before we do the grading, it really doesn't
dust.
limestone.
It just,
Yeah,
you
just
grind
rub
it
it, I
up.
guess,
Is,
goes up in the
as far as,
wind, you know.
and I've heard it said so many times, several guys in the place said it, that pit gravel actually lasts
Longer, it's
a
hard.
lot longer, it's harder, and people just don't like the stigma of it being red versus white.
It's still dirt.
Equally as sloppy. If you drive a car down it, you drive a black car down there, you're gonna get it just as dirty driving down a white car.
It's red.
It's red. So,
I just wanted to go on a problem area like this hill, with creek gravel. I know, don't say that.
Pit gravel would probably work a lot better than the creek, because the creek gravel is so loose, and so coarse, that has a tendency to just slide down the hill.
Well, you guys mix that some with ag lime, don't you?
We did.
That gives a little packing in it. But
Problem is,
big,
ag lime is pretty expensive. Ag lime is more expensive than CA6.
like these cents either. I mean,
Used to be half price.
that's the stuff that just falls through the screens and then they,
It's more expensive than CA6.
Yeah.
you talking about that limestone grinding up. When I soil sample the field on grids, they'll drive a perimeter and throw a grid down on top of them, 2.5 acre squares out there in this field. We'll go take a sample in every one of those 2.5 acre squares. And when the rig's going across there spreading lime, it puts it out as needed along the limestone road. Never need one. Never. Every time I drive up that road, I'm liming that field with dust. Yep, that's where it all goes. I mean, that's where it all goes, every bit of it.
That's why people, get, some people, not everybody, but a lot of people, when we do plowing in the winter, and it all falls out, and there's chips in their yard and everything, they all end up the it's like it's free line.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna hurt nothing.
It melts. Eventually, it will melt.
I mean,
That's the way it is. That's why Jason had a neighbor, what's he piled it up for you or something?
That's one of the guys I'm talking to.
Yeah.
He wanted to move down my drive. I said, bring it on. Yeah. Bring it down there, dump it right in the front of my drive out.
Yeah, I'll break it out, ain't no problem.
The neighbor across the street from him told me that he had a generator on the back of his trailer, back of his lawnmower, plugged in, had a shop vac plugged into the generator, and he sat out there and he sucked all that rock up in that shop vac.
You know what that son of a bitch needs is a job. He got too much time on his hands.
He's just anal about things, about the
That's what the guy that lives across the street told me. He said, I watched him bring it up. He said, he don't believe I did it. He said, he had a generator in the back of his lawnmower, had it started up, had the shop vac plugged into the generator, and he was out there and he sucked it up.
Pitiful.
I got totally unrelated because your poor little dog, is she confused about where she lives, or does she just follow the kids on the bike stuff?
She just follows the kids, wherever the kids go.
I thought I see her running in front of my house down to your old house some, and I'm just like, I bet you that dog's confused as to where she really lives now.
Usually the kids are pretty close wherever she's at.
Neighborhood dog.
Yeah, our dog just follows them around, our kids wherever they go. So. And sometimes she gets tired, she won't make the whole trip, she'll come back. So, most of the time she follows them. Happy games this weekend?
We played in Murray this weekend and won. We won the tournament.
Congratulations.
First one we won.
Weather, I guess, working to be all right.
We cooperated. It was windy.
Had a lot of teams in the tournament, 5 or 6.
Just
You know, as those kids get older, it's less and less people to play, you know, I mean, it's harder to find teams.
I can say you can still find a bunch. It's just tough.
All we go.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. When you get 14, 15, 16, it just dramatically drops off.
You ever give me a tonnage figure or see what on that?
She just got the offices.
Doesn't matter how, I didn't figure that would be no problem. That ain't no big deal. I was curious, I'm trying to get as much budget as I can. whenever we put that pipe in, they the guys put a pipe in and walk away and put rock on the road. Tell them guys, keep on, I'll pay for it. Well, now he's acting like he's starving to death. Probably is. Jeff knows how much grain he's on that. I know that.
You know, you remember Marjorie?
Smith?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Miss Chicken.
She called me up when that guy burned that thing.
Yeah.
Did I tell you that story?
Yeah,
She said,
she wanted to hear him.
wanted me to bury that old house. She said, I know it's in the house. She said, and we thought about that, didn't we? Just go with it. She said, well, get me a price. So I went down and give her a price. I said, Marjorie's going to do it. Oh, well, no, I ain't paying that.
Yeah, she probably owned 2,500 acres. She didn't have $1,500. That was
No, that's fair.
start. Get the guys out doing work, I guess.
Yeah, we're trying to finish it. I don't know if you noticed this up there on Woodview Road at the bank, right?
Cemetery.
Yeah, sloughed off, yeah.
We're trying to finish that.
How close are we gonna get to the graves?
We're up on top of it.
Is there quite a-
10, 12 feet away. There's two phone lines in between the bank and the grave, so I'm assuming they run the phone line about the grave. We're just thinking like the phone lines.
Was that Washington? How come you're putting it there? Or
That whole bank
It just sloughed off.
it just
Filled the ditch
fell
out.
off and it was basically straight down there. We were afraid that it might start actually sloughing off the grave. At some point, so,
put some rack on it?
well, we're just gonna put dirt on it and try to seed it real good.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be tough. That is steep right there.
Got some, well, I mean, the ditch was way too deep too, so we filled in some of the ditch and got the bank put on the grass. It looks a lot better now. I've got some crown vegetables, so.
You know, this stuff's good, it's good stuff. It chokes everything else out too, doesn't it? Keeps everything.
Just grow like fine. I don't think, wait until better time of year to use that seed. Probably wait till fall, see. That's it.
Not doing this one.
Probably put it together. No, I'm good. That's the only complaint I've got. We'll
Look at it.
Thank you.
That seat gonna make it all right?
I hope.
It may throw you out.
That's what I've done that before and went, right.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Lordy. So tell us what's going on.
We have a consolidation conference call at 10 to see if the state has a few more answers as we're still trying to figure out IMRF and just other business details of how all these things have to be handed off and where liabilities are and those kind of things. In fact, IMRF had sent us a letter a few weeks ago that ROE2, I believe, got a copy of as well, asking where the employees were going. Was this a brand new entity? Was it the same entity? Which we told them it's the same entity. Did mention to them, however, that didn't necessarily mean that funds were coming from the closing ROEs to the accepting ROEs. Like in this case, and we kind of talked before when you guys had received funds. At some point, I hope to have something that gives us at least a heads up and a hint of how many potential IMRF people would still be out there. And whenever that liability could kick in, when they retired, or if most of the staff that's been there that couple of letters have been sent. I know I had sent one. Mrs. Burrows in Jackson Perry County and I sent a joint letter certified asking for some kind of sit-down meeting. We're still waiting to hear about that. Did get communication back that we should expect that records would be delivered to us before July 1st, although I'm more inclined to go pick up records than wait for them to be delivered and have that paid for, and I'm going to just go get them myself. The last conversations we had last week, including with Shawnee College, is that ROE might be able to keep space at Shawnee College, which even if it's just temporary, it would be better if the records there just stayed there, because GED, truancy, substitute background checks, those kinds of things, I don't believe are filed by county. So really, if they just stay there, that'll give us a chance to go in and have a filing party, I guess, a sorting party, to sort out what records go where.
You know, Matt, talking about that GED, I was talking to a teacher, and she said that in their efforts to trying to keep students in school, they'd made that GED so hard you couldn't pass it anymore. Do you know anything about that?
I don't know if it was to keep them in school or not, but that might be part of the unintended consequence. They changed the GED a year ago. Pearson, the testing company that we all should have invested in 10 years ago. To make the test reflect what they said a graduate should know, including Common Core standards. And that's the same time they put it all online, and that's when they raised the price. That's caused the test taking to go way down, way down.
Is it because it's online, it's not paper no more, is that what changed people's thoughts?
And the price, I think. And like I said, level of difficulty. Now we at least have had a year where the prep classes have caught up with it, even though they also had to figure out a way to have practice online test, which used to you would give paper online tests. Well, you can give the practice test a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But online makes it a little more difficult to do that. Because of the price issue, and there were enough complaints, including in the General Assembly, the Community College Board was looking for some cheaper option. In fact, they changed the language in the law from GED to high school equivalency. Basically what Pearson did is they bought Kleenex. They bought the name GEDs, and that's what was in the law, so they made the law more generic. They were looking to go to one new test entity, but if they had done that, they would have had to go through all the bidding procedures and everything else to find one. So what they're suggesting now and what they're intending to do is have 3 high school equivalency options. The Pearson one from McGraw-Hill, and one from one other testing company. The other 2 have a paper pencil option and are supposed to be cheaper. After that, Pearson offered a discount on taking the test, which I understand discounting the apples at the grocery store to a food product, but discounting a test that maybe should have been to begin with, well, anyway, that's for them to figure out. How that's going to roll out, we don't know yet. Our office was not one of those, we still give the test, but thankfully in our 2 counties, John A. Logan College has allowed us to use a computer lab for free. If we had to put all the money in to install all that, and then you get $5 per test hour, didn't make a lot of economic sense. What it means for the new one, we don't know yet. Can we use the same labs? We don't know that yet either. In this region, we've talked to Shawnee College. They are a testing center. And it looks like they will be the ones giving the test. I think that setup works well. We still have the records though, and then we will help students get to there. Shawnee also, through the adult ed program, has the prep classes. So that should be seamless. Like we've talked to Shawnee College. we don't need to be in competition with them, everybody trying to grab a lot of the same program. It's, let's get the people served, get the job done, and we'll work together to do that. With the budget that we approved earlier, we had the position in there to have either one person really to work in the two counties here, Massac and Johnson, or I think there was enough there that we could maybe even split that, depending on the clerical needs we need. That's where we're getting ready to start making some decisions and advertise that out and look. And as we talk, have that person stationed in the building down here. The Regional Safe School Program, which is for students who are about to be suspended, expelled. That program, I believe, has still been meeting out here. The schools still need that program. Depending on, depending on how the new discipline law that doesn't want you suspending or expelling kids very long.
Right.
Not sure how you're supposed to work a business model around that. And the governor's budget proposal zeroed out the safe school. I think the legislators looking to get that back in because they recognize why the program's there. We just don't know, we'll know when we know if that's there and what we can apply for and how we can staff that with a teacher or two. But even the program I currently have, I mean, that staff's been told the same thing.
So is it possible we will not have safe school?
That's a possibility.
So what happens to these students if they're expelled from the school? Where do they go, or do they just not go to school?
We had a presentation by the new education secretary a few weeks ago when we were in Springfield. She talked about a lot of issues. She talked about she and the governor's goal was to have 2 quality education choices for each kid in the state. As we try to figure out how to pay for one choice, we're going to have 2 choices. Okay, what does that mean? Well, that could mean online courses or correspondence stuff, or which are usually for-profit vendors. It could be the model of take the vocational class over in the next county. Not to put a wet blanket on that, but all that stuff's been tried through the years, and logistics and travel and all that stuff always comes in. Then we raised our hand and pointed out, but what about the Safe School program? Their view is they want to fund general state aid, give it to the districts, hopefully at 100%, which has not been, and let them figure it out where they want to invest their money. That's been tried before too. The reason we have safe schools is a law was put in place in 1994 because of the issue of all these kids who were out there who needed help, needed a hand up. These programs have shown to be successful in keeping people from ending up across the street here on the corner. Well, that's going to be up to the school districts to decide. We also pointed out, of course, sometimes those kids don't need to be in that general population. Not that we want them to stay there forever in a safe school. But there's also times when you get the kid away from that environment, they do all right. And if you put them right back in where they were in trouble to begin with, you have the same problems. But things we can work on. We also pointed out, well, isn't a safe school one of those choices you talk about? I didn't really have I don't think she was anticipating that question. But it continues to be, we're hurting to be funded 100% for general state aid. Everybody is overjoyed that it could be at some point. But to do it, their plans have called for pulling money out of these different programs, like safe schools and other things. One of those, be careful what you wish for. When you have all these designated things, the money has to go for those things. If you put it all in general state aid, there's more flexibility to spend it. That also means charter schools and vendors and others have a shot at some of those funds too. Not that that's the plan, but, well, we'll see what the plan is. We need that safe school program, and the schools have said we need it. The other option is to figure out how to have them pay some tuition toward keeping it. But we haven't gone there yet because we want to see what the options are. Plus, okay, then that's still money. The schools are still deciding how to do it, but we've got to know what to plan for. Some regional offices do charge that. They have districts buy slots that they can fill or not fill, but they pay for that slot so that we know at the start of the year we can afford 2 teachers. Because it's kind of hard. Ideally, a safe school would start with 0 kids at the beginning of the year, although we usually have to carry over stuff from the year before. But you can't hire a teacher in October, November with any experience anyway to do these programs. So that's what some districts have gone to. We've talked about it some, but again, it's, certainly about where the state budget will end, what we're gonna do.
I think, our concern, the board is, we have a building that we might look at trying to get some income. And, there's ideas that we have maybe with it. But if we have a safe school, you gotta be cautious of the other people that's gonna be sharing that building. And personally, I would just like to know, at what time would the board know if safe school is going for next year or not?
I would too.
And that's kind of the decision I think we would want to
That
look at.
woman up there told me that the last of June is all of it for right now. Is that correct? They just had 2 people in there when I was up there. And the teacher.
And we are supposed to get, when we write for the grant, we are supposed to get a portion of what was assigned to ROE2, if it's in there. Hopefully we can access the general state aid, but I don't know if they've been reporting the state aid from the school here, or if they were having their own school districts report the state aid. Then we've got to figure out how we can get access to that, because there's 2 things that run it. There's the general state aid, and there's the safe school grant. The numbers are so small, you don't generate usually enough from general state aid to just run it that way. You need both parts of this. I said in the program I have right now, with the 2 teachers we have, I think I can make it most of the way through next year, without the safe school grant. But that's not a great option for anybody either. And most of my colleagues are telling their employees the same thing. Either they won't have it, they plan to have it if the grant's there, or we'll start the year and we'll run as long as we can.
Do you know what the numbers currently we have out here? Like, I know Gerald said it was 2, but have you talked to the superintendent, see?
I have no idea. I'm guessing.
Okay.
I wish I did, but I don't.
She said she was gonna retire. And the minimum wage.
And then, yes, if we were there in the normal circumstances, which is certainly what I hoped, then we're paying utilities, we're paying those kind of things, and paying our part being there with some of those state funds.
Now, we had talked to you about possibly West Bus Service is interested in leasing a portion of that building. That shouldn't be, you still feel like it's fine, but there's no, okay.
That'd be fine. Do you, I think we talked about bus parking and those kinds of things.
Yeah, but the number has dropped a lot from when I talked to you. I originally thought like 14 or 15, but Gerald talked to him and.
Yeah, she indicated, there's space for 14, but she indicated about 5 or 6.
Okay, because I know, I don't know, I've observed when I was driving around, and I was in all the schools last Thursday, they're parked, I guess, at their homes, which
Yeah.
which probably helps out the Norman commute. Now, is the lot between there and the driver's license facility, is that yours as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah. then
And it's
there's
blacktopped
plenty of room.
enough to, park buses back there,
Right,
and
okay.
still have a road out front.
Right, yeah, and that's what I wasn't sure, when you had originally mentioned it, I knew the fenced-in part, and I thought, well, that's not very big, but with the other lot, yeah, that's no problem.
I think in the summer, Matt, they park those buses at the high school. So
They kinda do
in the
the summer
winter, while they'll be
maintenance
at the person's house, and then, or part of them out there, I've seen a lot half full out there with buses. in the
Right.
summer.
Right. We did conduct the bus driver class for them last week down here. They had called the ROE, he said they weren't doing that anymore, call us, so. We went ahead and filled that gap, but, and we worked with West and some other places as well.
Well, I mean, personally, my thing is if we could just know about safe school at some point, because there might be another agency or route that we could possibly lease to.
As soon as I know, you will know.
Okay.
Good deal.
I just hope we'll see what comes out of the budget talks this week, because it sounds like something will be passed. And then will the governor immediately veto, or will he wait the 30 days? Or if you remember 4 years ago, that governor waited the 30 days, and then the day before we were sworn in, that's when we got our salary knocked out of part of that. So, we've lived this before, but as soon as we know, we'll know. And consolidation is difficult enough with all the uncertainties, but doing it this way is no good way to run a railroad. But we'll be flexible and try to get the programs in as quickly as we can. Have had a call from the current truant officer, and the process is getting back with him. We'll see how we want to do that program as well. I'm not even sure where he's been based out of.
Who's the current truancy of? Is it a character?
Haley,
Haley, okay.
Jimmy Haley, it was.
Yes.
What did, I thought Steve character.
He's over the buses somewhere or another. Training or
He had done bus driver training, he didn't this year, he didn't go to the training, although he attended ours. And that looks like one option for us, since he's done that before. That way I can have two where, we've tried to get on a more regular schedule of every other month, but that way, I've got a backup in place in case I need to do something. I said, we've still got the homeless ranch to run, and then still trying to figure out what our daily traffic's gonna be. What used to be a lot of walk-in traffic is done on the phone and on the computer, but we need the presence here. We know that for many reasons, and the intention is to have the presence here. And figure out what that person's day is going to look like, and just the interaction with truancy and homeless and licensure and everything else. And then getting out to the schools to help them through some of those things. And like I said, also working with Shawnee College to see what they offer that we can partner with, that we can work with to make sure that the services are there, which is the most important thing.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Just holler anytime if you got something, I'll let you know as soon as I know something.
Well, thank you very much for coming in.
Sure thing.
Good to see you.
You say Steve's not doing that bus stuff right now?
He's not right now.
He told me he's over all the buses from Springfield South.